certain something.
She looked just like a little angel and sang like a little angel.
Avril was driven from day one to be successful.
She had a beautiful, soothing tone that just got me.
They chased one goal relentlessly.
It's one of those fairy tale stories of the small town girl dreaming of the big city.
Through struggles,
Avril began to be bullied.
She got picked on a lot.
I really felt that there was jealousy.
and setbacks.
She wrote with 2 or 3 different writers, and she just wasn't too happy.
She was being locked into that soft adult sound. She definitely wanted to have a little more of an edge.
Some people are just driven. A small-town Canadian girl's defiant pursuit of superstardom.
She kind of speaks her mind and doesn't take any really.
Never-before-seen images, stories, and revelations from the people who know what really happened.
All these people are thinking that she was kind of desecrating this, the name of punk.
She just said, I never said I was a punk.
What hurt her the most was people calling her a fake and calling her a phony.
Because they lived it with her.
Tell me!
She said, you to everybody.
This is Driven. Avril Lavigne.
Avril was born on September 27th, 1984, at the Belleville General Hospital in Canada. Avril was our second child, so it was exciting to have a girl, and she was beautiful.
Avril was brought up in a very Christian religious family.
I'm a born-again Christian, so I was attending the local church.
We went to church a lot when we were younger. Parents made us.
Avril was exposed to the music because she was in Sunday school every week. I recall the first time I ever heard Avril sing. I was sitting in the living room in the rocking chair, and she was on my lap, and I started singing Jesus Loves Me. And she piped in and started joining me.
Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible told me so. Jesus loves me.
I thought, oh my goodness, she's singing. I couldn't believe it.
Avril was driven from day one to be successful. She was singing on her bed in the mirror, pretending to be a rock star when she was a little kid.
She'd always be jumping around and running around and singing and always putting on little performances.
On radio, cute and sweet.
That's all I can remember is her singing all around the house. It was so annoying.
She was a very active, hyper child, lots of energy.
She was like always the center of attention. She always sang at night too, and I got so mad at her. She'd keep me up.
Oh, Canada, we stand on God for thee.
2, 3, 4.
We moved to Napanee from Belleville when Avril was 5 years of age.
Napanee is a little town about 5,000, halfway between Toronto and Montreal.
Typical smaller Canadian town, made up of some beautiful old homes, one main street.
When we were at church in Napanee, Avril was invited to sing with 3 or 4 other children, but Avril wanted to sing alone. And they gave Avril her first solo.
Oh, Jesus, bless Redeemer.
It was almost like she was in rapture.
And everybody was just amazed. And she was only 10 years old.
Hold us who wait before thee.
And she looked just like a little angel and sang like a little angel.
Avril was always looking for attention, and in church she got it.
She was a well-rounded kid. She was athletic. She was very athletic. She would rather do what the boys were doing.
She was always playing sports, like just guy stuff. She was more like a tomboy and stuff.
She was involved in hockey in the community. She played with the boys.
It was a guys' team, and she was like the only girl on the team.
Avril could run with the boys. Certainly, she didn't back down.
I remember she had a brawl with one of the players.
She got into this little scruff with the goalie. This guy was always giving her crap at school and all that, and kind of saying stuff to her.
She was not somebody that you would really want to push around.
Back in school, Avril began to be bullied.
She got picked on a lot, and she didn't get along with the girls. She wouldn't wear girly clothes, so they treated her different.
They just wouldn't hang out with her, and they called their names.
I really felt that there was jealousy. Avril was just a beautiful girl, and people were jealous of her.
She ended up switching schools.
She got in too many fights, so she went to a Christian school.
Through all the bullying, the music helped her get through it all.
You knew this girl was meant to sing, so I went to work trying to write a song specifically for Avril.
When he was starting to come up with ideas for a CD, he wanted to involve people from the community.
I said to her father one day, you know, I'd like to get Avril involved on this CD, which I call the Quinty Spirit CD.
It was Avril's first time in the studio, and her first time behind the microphone.
The studio can be very intimidating.
You're really under a microscope.
Well, Avril just walked in there as though she'd done it all her life.
She did not seem to be nervous at all.
She walked up to that mic like a pro, and she nailed one take of Touch the Sky.
David and I are looking at each other. Our jaws are on the floor.
And I've said, Avril, we can do another one if you want, but I don't think we have to.
Man, she did it in one try. That was amazing.
He's the sunlight shining down on me.
I recall turning to her dad, who was sitting behind me, jokingly saying, wow, she's going to make $1 million one day.
Shining down on me.
After that first recording, she wanted to do more live performances.
We thought, well, this would be great to go out and do some shows.
We played at the Norwood Fair.
It's a fair that has typical fair things. There's lots of farm animals and baking contests.
Not even 50 people there, probably, like just small audiences.
A good portion of that audience were elderly people.
You know, 60, 70, 80-year-old people.
She's got a great future ahead of her. Her name is Avril Lavigne. Isn't she a talented little one?
And the audience sort of came and went as we played.
Singing mostly in Napanee did restrict Avril.
That's mainly what Napanee was about. Like if she wanted to sing in Napanee, it would be at the Napanee Fair.
I was really frustrated as a parent because I knew that Avril was on a different level. All of a sudden, she began to change. She didn't want to sing anymore. I had to tell people no. I kind of had to make an excuse that she was busy or something. It was very difficult. It seemed like her music was over.
Next, Avril sings a different tune when she's offered the gig of a lifetime.
Let's go, girl.
We heard about the Shania Twain contest on the radio.
She was just what they were looking for.
Then, she searches for her voice.
Avril wrote with 2 or 3 different writers, and she just wasn't too happy.
She definitely wanted to have a little more of an edge.
We're all sort of scratching their heads going, why does she keep talking about this punk rock thing?
Quite a few of the times when Avril was singing around town at different events, the audience didn't really respond to her.
I don't think Napanee would be the place where you would get noticed.
Avril wanted to get out of Napanee and all that, and just get to a bigger city.
Let's go, girls.
We heard about the Shania Twain contest on the radio.
Man, I feel like a woman. Part of her tour, she always wanted to get a young, upcoming artist to go on stage with her.
So you had to have a recording of yourself singing. What made you say that?
The prize at the end of it was that you would get to go on stage in Ottawa with Shania Twain to sing What Made You Say That.
Her dad had phoned me, I believe it was the night before the contest was to end.
We had the dates mixed up, so it was a big rush.
Avril came to the studio, and sure enough, we ran through it within under an hour.
We rushed down to the radio station, had this little tape in this little brown bag, and submitted it.
We had hundreds and hundreds come into the radio station. It was overwhelming.
It was the Monday morning. They were going to play the song and announce the winner, and they started to play it. And Avril said, "That's me."
It was good. It was really good. She was just what they were looking for.
So 2 days later, we went up to Ottawa.
Walked in the arena and it was packed, like it was sold out.
She'd have to go on stage in front of, 25,000, 30,000 people. She was a little 13-year-old, and I was more nervous than she was. She was fine. I kept saying, "Are you all right?" I'm not.
And then actually, we're going to have a guest singer come up. She's over here. Please make her welcome. Simply, I love you. As the words came out, I heard a voice inside me say, "What made you say that?"
She got up on stage and just killed it. She was great. She got a standing O from the audience. Her rhythm and her movement and the way she worked the stage, she was a natural. Shania definitely was blown away.
She asked Avril, "Well, what do you want to do when you grow up?" And in front of 20,000 people said, "I want to become a famous singer."
Shania Twain bowed down to her and thought, I might just see you sooner or later. She came away from that night's experience knowing that that's what she wanted to do. And now she just had to prove it.
Avril just took off. She just blossomed. All of a sudden, she grabbed the guitar.
She was down in the basement strumming away in her guitar, and she was starting to write some songs.
It just came out of her. It was just very natural.
She was singing at a bookstore called Chapters.
We had heard that there was going to be somebody there who had seen Avril sing with Shania.
I found out this fellow was a professional music manager.
He seemed to think that he could do some great things for Avril.
I first heard of Avril because her manager had sent me a videotape. She had an amazing voice. She just seemed to be a very natural talent. We decided to send her to New York. There was a songwriter, producer there named Peter Zizzo, who I felt could help her realize her songs.
School isn't her thing, so it was better for her to get out of school and do what she was meant to do.
And that was the last time I saw her. She was off and gone.
Here she was in New York, in this huge city. I mean, to go from Napanee to Manhattan to this swank apartment in the Village, it was just so, kind of couldn't believe she was there.
We were just talking on the phone. She was like, "Oh my God, there's a prostitute outside the window." Not too many prostitutes in Napanee, I don't think.
She was so sweet, so like in awe of just being in a real recording studio. I asked her if she had any ideas, if she wanted to sing something. She literally just grabbed the guitar and just started like wailing away. Fearless. I hadn't been working with Avril that long when an A&R guy at Arista comes down and he watched her do the vocal and he just leaned in and said, "Oh my God."
This guy freaked out, arranged for L.A. Reid to come down, hear it, and hear her sing.
L.A. Reid had been president of Arista for about 5 minutes. I mean, he had just taken over.
I was in a horrible mood. What I was going through that day was sort of my usual transitional mess going to Arista Records, and I was just a little bit ticked off. I wanted to stay in a bad mood. I didn't want to not be in a bad mood. Right now, I just want to be in a funk. Leave me alone.
LA's on his way. He'll be there in about 10 minutes, He's getting closer, 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 and we'll just kind of... Avril just kind of looked at us and said, "Hey guys, I just want you to know, I'm not going to be nervous or anything like that." We're like, "Yeah, you're so cool," because we were dying.
And so I went to the studio and I met her, and she went into the recording booth, and she sat on a little stool, she crossed her legs, and she started singing.
Say goodbye to all my friends. Can't say when I'll be there again. It's time.
I was so blown away that I actually walked out of the studio and went outside and took a deep breath and said, "Damn, I am blown away. How do I do this without just being all over myself and just jumping up and down?"
He was just sort of in a daze. How old are you again? She's like a 15.
She had a beautiful, soothing tone that just got me.
Everything's changing when I turn around.
L.A. Reid just kind of looked at her after, and I remember he goes, You just changed my whole day. And he wants to sign her immediately.
It's hard to believe when it does actually happen. I was shocked.
I remember that she was very, very aware of how special this was. And I remember that she was as excited as everybody.
Well, it seemed to take off a little bit slow. She wrote with 2 or 3 different writers, and she just wasn't too happy.
I think she felt at the beginning she was being locked into that soft adult sound.
Some of the music was more Celine Dion type. It just wasn't really what was in her. It wasn't her type of music. Avril was going through a transition.
Avril, given what she was going through as a teenager, I think she started to kind of mine material that was a bit heavier.
Everybody were all sort of scratching their heads going, why does she keep talking about this punk rock thing?
She definitely wanted to have a little more of an edge. So she went out to LA. She worked with another guy named Cliff Magnus. Cliff rocked it out a little bit more with her.
Her eyes just like lit up, and she was like, this is awesome. We rock. You know, it was everything she wanted.
They did 2 songs. I went out to LA to hear them. The first song was Complicated.
Tell me why do you have to go and make things so complicated?
The second I heard it was like the clouds parted and the big golden ticket popped down.
It was like, wow, that's an obvious smash song. It's going to be huge.
Life begins to change for Avril when Let Go came out.
It pretty much took off immediately.
Yeah, number 10 kicking things off is Avril Lavigne. Here it is at number 7. It's at 6. She's going strong on the countdown at 4.
The video was all over TRL. I mean, and it all happened within, you know, a month. It was just ridiculous.
It was a teen anthem.
The record sales just started going up faster and faster.
The album went platinum in probably about 35 different countries.
It wasn't long before everybody was dressing like her.
They're all wearing your neckties, your signature neckties.
You couldn't go anywhere without seeing, you know, groups of girls wearing ties.
Can I make it any more obvious?
We see a lot of fans and a lot of people coming to the shows rocking the tie.
When you start to realize that she's bigger than just music, she's part of culture.
Next, Avril battles the backlash of success.
What's this girl doing rock? You know, is she really true to who she is?
What hurt her the most was people calling her a fake and calling her a phony. If there was a perfect pop hit, it is Complicated.
Tell me why do you have to go and make things so complicated?
All of a sudden, she realized that she was famous.
Every day, it was getting bigger and bigger, and every day, there was more fans.
It was so exciting, and it was like, wow, someone from Napanee can do this.
When Let Go came out, I mean, the town was besieged by reporters from all over the world.
They hear that Avril is from Napanee, and suddenly everybody wants to know what the place is like.
She used to sing country gospel type stuff. What's this girl doing rock? You know, is she really true to who she is?
What?
There are always negative comments and maybe people that are jealous or just want to put you down.
What hurt her the most was people calling her a fake and calling her a phony.
It was just so easy for the media to tag her like she's the punk rock hardcore girl.
People trying to challenge what she did and who she was in any way, shape, or form.
All these people that she like admired and all these people that she respected were thinking that she was kind of just like desecrating this, you know, the name of punk.
Just trying to say that she was a poser. You know, it's never great to read that stuff.
She just said, I never said I was a punk.
She's too punk rock.
I'm not punk rock.
That's something that people say about me. I'm just me.
Ultimately, she just shrugged the whole thing off. I mean, she didn't really care.
She said, you know, few to everybody.
She's a pretty strong-headed girl. It's kind of the thing I love about her. She kind of speaks her mind. It doesn't take any really.
Check out my pipes.
It's in her look and it's in her music. And what I mean by that is that she has an edge. She has a don't with me kind of thing going on. It's not a mean thing. It's more of a confidence thing.
She definitely is a rebel. She just says what she wants to say and does what she wants to do, and let the chips fall as they may.
It's one of those fairy tale stories of the small town girl dreaming of the big city, you know what I mean?
This next song is a song I wrote about growing up in a small town, Napanee, Ontario.
Something inside of her told her that she was going to get out of there and she was going to do this all, and sure enough, it all happened.
She has the look and the personality and the voice all together. That's what makes a star, and that's all she ever could be.